All right, let's take a look here. What we're trying to do is get m by itself. Well, here, m is on the bottom, so put a 1 under here, and then flip both of those. Now I'm going to use a new sheet of paper here. When you do, you're going to get 1 over p equals mv over rt. And once you do that, you're dividing by RT, so you want to multiply by RT. And at the same time, you're multiplying by V, so you can put V down here as well. And what's going to happen is the RT's cancel and the V's cancel, so you're left with M is equal to RT over VP, or PV. And there it is. And that's number 1. Let's take a look at number 2. I think this had to deal with gears and pulleys. So what you want to do is draw your line. This is a plus. Always look in front. So you want to do a minus. This is a minus, so you want to do a plus. When you do that, this cancels. So you get G minus U plus TS equals PV. And then you want to divide everything by V. And when you do that, you get your answer. And there it is. Okay? You could technically put everything divided by V, but I like it individually. Okay, either way, but I like this way better. All right, let's talk about today's work now. Today's work, we're moving into a new section, and this section is 2.5. 2.5. So open up your book to page 123 and follow along with me. Okay? I didn't want to write all of these examples, so let's take a look. On this right here, it says a plumber has to cut a 17-foot piece of pipe into 3 parts. Okay, so you have a pipe, for example 1, 2.5, and the whole thing is equal to 17 feet. Now look what it says. The longest part is 3 times as long as the shortest part. We don't know what the shortest part is. So the shortest one is x. The longest one is 3 times x. I'm going to say that again. It's 3 times as long as the shortest part. So the question should be, well, how big is the shortest part? We don't know. And when you don't know, you use x. So the longest one is 3 times that. The middle size piece is 2 feet longer than the shortest. So 2 feet longer would be x plus 2. The shortest one plus 2. You're going to add all that up and set it equal to 17. So you're going to combine like terms. That's 3, 4, 5x plus 2 is equal to 17. You're going to subtract 2 and get 5x is equal to 15, x is equal to 3. Now, how long should each piece be? You always go back and read the question. This one's going to be 3. This one's going to be 3 times 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. This one's going to be 3 plus 2. You're going to scratch out that x and get 5. Let's check it. That's 12 and 5 makes 17. So that's correct. Okay, again, I'm going to emphasize again. The key is right here. It's 3 times as long as the shortest part. We don't know what the shortest part is, so you put x. And you use that as a relationship for the other 2. Think about what I'm saying, okay? When you don't know something, you use x. All right, let's go on. Geometry. All right, so we talk about angles and degrees, and you had some of this. So you have a straight angle. A straight angle is a line. So straight angle is a line. And it is 180 degrees. Okay, from here to here is half a circle. So it's 180 degrees. A right angle, you should know that, is 90 degrees. That little box means 90 degrees. Okay? And let's see what's going on here. All right, so you have different types of angles here. You have one with no measure, but it's less than 90. It's acute, a right angle, a straight angle. These two should add up to 75. These two should add up to 180. Okay? So let's see what's going on. Look at these two angles here. These are called adjacent. Okay, so put example 2 and draw this diagram. Put 37 degrees and put 75 degrees. Okay, I'm using this example right there. So the formula is, we don't know what this bottom piece is, so put X. Okay, so you're going to add these two up. These are called adjacent. Whenever they're side by side, it's adjacent. You might remember that word. So it's going to be X plus 37 is equal to 75 degrees. And that's how you work that one right there. Okay? This other one right here, this little one, you're going to say X plus 53 equals 180. Okay, that's not too hard. You can do that. Let's go on to the next one. We have two angles side by side. And actually, we just talked about that one. So let's drop down to here. Complementary. There's two words you need to know. Complementary and supplementary. Does anybody know what those are from geometry? Complementary is two angles that add up to 180. No, take that back. Add up to 90. Supplementary is two angles that add up to 180. Supplementary is like Superman, it's bigger. So it's two angles that add up to 180. Okay? So complementary is 90, supplementary is 180. Okay, remember that. Okay, let's talk about the next one. This one says, find the complement of a 30-degree angle. Well, complement means 90 degrees. So draw a 90-degree angle. And so we have two angles here. We have angle 1 and we have angle 2. Here they're telling you that one of them is 30 degrees. So we'll make that one 30 degrees. We don't know what this one is, so put X. So the formula would be X plus 30 is equal to 90 degrees, which is complementary. Okay? So now you subtract 30 and you have your answer. So when you subtract 30, I guess you get 60. Okay, so there it is. Remember, complementary is 90 degrees. This one is supplementary. So what you're going to do, supplementary is 180. So draw two angles like this that add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so it says one angle is 50 degrees. Find the other one, so put X. So the formula is supplementary is Superman, it's bigger. So it's going to be X plus 50 is equal to 180. And solve that by subtracting, and you get 130. And there it is, right here. Okay, let's finish this up. A rectangle. A rectangle, the length of a rectangle. So draw a rectangle, example 6. The length and the width. The length is 4 meters longer than twice the width. Twice the width. We don't know what the width is, so put X. Therefore, the length is going to be 4 more than twice the width. So twice the width is 2W, or 2X in this case, plus 4. Okay? And so it says find perimeter. So if this one is 2X plus 4, so is this one. If this one is X, this one's X. And so what you're going to do, it tells you the perimeter is 26. So you're going to add all of this up and set it equal to 26. So you start adding all your X's. 1, 2, 2 and 2 is 4, 5, 6. So it's 6X plus 8 is equal to 26. And now what you're going to do is subtract 8 and then divide by 6. So when you subtract 8, that's 6, I guess that's 18, and 18 divided by 6 is 3. So you get 3 for the X. So the width is 3. This one is 2 times 3 is 6, plus 4 is 10. So this one is 10, 10, 3, and 3. Let's add it up. That's 23, 26. So that works. Okay? Let's see if there's anything else. There's one more. All right, so we need to talk about an isosceles triangle. So draw a triangle and put isosceles. An isosceles triangle has an upper angle called the vertex and then a base angle. So we have two bases right here, and they're equal. Okay, so whatever this one is, that one is. All right, so let's talk about this. Here it is right here. The vertex angle of an isosceles triangle is 56. So put 56 for the vertex. Both of these bases are the same, so put x and x. We don't know what they are. We know that every triangle adds up to 180 degrees, kind of like a line. So we're going to say x plus x, which are my bases, plus my vertex, is equal to 180 degrees. We're going to get 2x plus 56 is equal to 180 degrees. We're going to subtract 56 and then divide by 2. Bam! Whatever you get is your answer. All right, your assignment is right here. Make sure you check your answers. You only have 36 of them today, but I do want you to draw your diagrams. All right, I'm going on to geometry lesson. All right, so let me get rid of this book. Let's talk about geometry. All right, so at 11:44, we're talking about geometry here. That's the time on the video. I want you to write the rules of reflection. Remember, if you reflect over the x, you change the y. If you reflect over the y, you change the other one, which is x. If it's y equals x, you switch them. If it's a negative x, you switch and change. Write that down. Switch and change. All right, so let's take a look at this. Here's an example. Pay attention to the rules now. This one says reflect over the x, so we're going to change the y's. So put A prime and B prime. And so what we're going to do is change only the y. The x stays the same, so it's -4, and if you change that, it becomes a negative. Here, the x stays the same, but you're going to change the y, which gives you 6. And there it is. That's a reflection over the x-axis. Let's do B. Reflect over the y. Well, when you reflect over the y, you change the other one, which is x. So that here, the x changes. So that becomes 4, but the y stays the same. This becomes -2, but the y stays the same. There it is. We're not graphing these. We're just using the rules for reflection. Watch the next one. C. Put A prime, B prime. All right, so B says reflect over the line y equals x. Now y equals x is this line right there, just so you know. All right, anyway, if you do that, you switch these. So the 7 comes first and a -4. You switch these and you get -6 and 2 and you're done. Real simple. Watch the next one. The next one, you got to switch them and change them. So when you switch these two right here and change it, it becomes a negative and a positive. So it becomes 7 and 4, or rather a -7 and 4. And when you switch these and change it, it becomes 6 and a -2. Those are the rules for reflection. Make sure you know them. All right, on a new sheet of paper, I want you to graph these lines. Let's take a look at that. Now you need to know how to do this, so watch. Number 1, y equals x is the 45. So that's number 1. Number 2, y equals -x is the -1, 45. It goes backwards. It flips. So that's number 2. Number 3, x equals 2. This is your x-axis. So you go 1, use your tick marks, 2. So x equals 2 is this line right here. And that's number 3. You need to know how to do this. X equals 0 is actually, let me use another graph. x equals 0. This is x equal 1. X equals 0 is actually the y-axis. So put y-axis. Make sure you know that, okay? Y equals -2, and I'm running out of space here, so let me use another sheet. So y equals -2 looks like this. This is your y, so you want to go down 2, so there it is, -2. And that would be number 5. And then finally, number 6, y equals 0, and you need to know these. This is y equals -1. Y equals 0 is the x-axis. And you need to know how to do these in order to do the reflections. All right. So go home and memorize those. Here's today's worksheet. And I'm going to put it on Canvas in a little while. Okay? All right. So now let's take a look at the worksheet, so I can work some of these with you before I give it to you. This one says, reflect over the x-axis. Well, my x-axis is right here, so make it darker. That's my x-axis. Now count. There's 2 spaces above, so you go 2 spaces below. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. This one is 1 below, so you go 1 above, and the image looks like this, and that's your answer. That's a reflection, a flip. Reflection means flip over the x-axis. There's your answer. This is called the pre, and this is called the image. Write that down. The original is called the pre. Watch the next one. Reflect over y equals 3. Well, you got to know how to graph that. This is your y, but it's positive, so go up 1, 2, 3. So your line looks like this. Again, you have to be able to graph those lines. This one is 2 above, so you go 2 below. This one's 2 below, so you go above. Basically, these switch. This one goes down here. Okay, so this one is 2 above right here. This one is 2 above, below. This one is 2 above, goes here. This one is 2 above, it goes here. So the new one looks like this. Something like that. Okay, let's try another one. One more. This one right here says y equals 1. Y equals 1 is this line. See, this is your y, so you go up 1, and there it is. So you got to have this line. I want to see it. This one is 1 below, you go 1 above. This one is 1, 2, 3 above, you go 1, 2, 3 below. This one is 1 above, you go 1 below, and there it is. Now you can make it look a little better than mine, but there's the idea. Okay? This one's the x-axis. Well, you know the x-axis is here. All right, look at the next one. Reflect over the x. If you reflect over the x, you change the y. So you're going to change that, change that, change that, change that. Well, you really can't change 0. So the new one is going to be 2, -2, 2, -5, 5, -4, and 5 and 0, because this one's not going to change because it's 0. And then you graph it. Let's go over to the next side. This one says reflect over the x. Now they don't want you to graph it. You just change it. So put k prime, n prime, and q prime. And then what you want to do is change the y. So you want to change all of these and write them down. That's all you do. Now describe the rule for this. Well, in order to reflect this one to this one, it would have to be this in the middle. Now you got to know what that line is. That line hits the x-axis, and it's 1, 2. So this would be x equals -2. And that's how you do today's worksheet. I hope that helped you, and tomorrow we're going on to a new lesson. Have a good day.